for that one. All right, so this online webinar is being recorded, by the way. And yes, I was saying, with me here is Mr. Pusit Horpit, a lecturer in Marine Science Program School of Science in Walilac University. And I have also here our officer, academic officer at Center for Yale. And we have here my colleague as well, Mr. Raman Tuan from Indonesia. He is an adjunct in Kanyani Sita Marat School, and also Saraline Olay. If you do have questions or other concerns or queries, don't hesitate to ask these people that I have mentioned so that they can help you with your queries. And as I was saying, I will be showing you a video presentation for Walilac University. Ajahn, proceed. Ajahn, proceed, we cannot hear you.
Major city of southern Thailand. Walilac University is located in Tha Sala, Nakhon Si Thammarat, a major city of southern Thailand. The province has many natural wonders and beautiful beaches all along the coast, and is in the same region as the popular beaches of Koh Samui and Phuket. The campus is surrounded by the beautiful and large greenery of Khao Luang National Park. Walilac University presents a fine example of the feng shui concept of water, land, and mountains combination. With the direction set by Professor Dr. Sombat Thamrong Thanyawong, our president since July 2016, the university has stepped into an era of change, focusing on high quality, both in teaching, learning, and research. Over 90% of the students who graduate from Walilac University pass professional examinations in their first attempt, one of the best records in the country. Walilac University was assessed by the Office of the Higher Education Commission of Thailand in 2019 and awarded a score of 4.8 out of 5, which is among the highest in the country. Crucial items of the ranking included quality of graduates, research and publication, social engagement, promotion of art and culture, and management. In addition, academic ranks have nearly doubled in the last 4 years. The rate of employment among graduates is 98%, something that we at Walilac University are very proud of. To achieve high quality and internationally recognized learning outcomes, Walayalak University incorporates the UK Professional Standards Framework or UKPSF in all her teaching. High-level student learning is of great importance. About 60% of our teaching staff have been awarded fellowships from the UK-based Advanced Higher Education. As part of Walayalak University's internationalization efforts and to prepare for our graduates for high-level and international job opportunities, English language proficiencies is emphasized. There are more than 30 international educators dedicated to first-year English language teaching alone at the university. Smart facilities such as smart classrooms, smart laboratories, smart mobility, and smart security are in place so that the students can truly enjoy their university life and develop the various skills necessary for their future careers. Study at Walayalak University is active, engaging, and fun. Walayalak University is a comprehensive research university with three main academic areas: health sciences, science and technology, and social sciences, with 42 programs across 14 schools and 3 international colleges, plus a number of international courses. Walayalak University cares deeply about her staff and student health. The university provides modern high-standard sports facilities, including swimming pools, a fitness center, and other sports amenities. Walayalak University prides herself on being a leading comprehensive research university committed to academic excellence. The university operates 21 centers of research excellence that drive high-level research and education and academic careers and academic services that support Thailand's technology policy or Thailand 4.0. Her achievements are reflected in the SCImago Institutions rankings. Walayalak University's innovation and research publications rankings have been among the highest both in Asia and in Thailand. In addition, Nature Index ranks Walayalak University among the top in Thailand in physical sciences. Also, Walayalak University regularly produces world-class publications in ISI Scopus Index journals. Internationally rated and cited research publications have increased dramatically under Professor Dr. Sombat's leadership, and Walayalak University is increasingly recognized for its active research environment. Social engagement projects that translate research findings and innovations into practice for the benefit of the community are another hallmark of Walayalak University. Entrepreneurial spirit is much valued at Walayalak University. Students can enjoy co-working spaces with the private sector right here at the university's Science and Technology Park. With a pristine location surrounded by greenery, Walayalak University is a natural location for a botanic garden. Initiated by the Schools of Pharmacy, Walayalak University features one of the most beautiful herbal gardens in Thailand. Not only is this garden beneficial to the students of the School of Pharmacy and applied Thai traditional medicine, it is also a place where the public can visit and enjoy. Walayalak University has one of the most treasured 216 hectares botanic garden, featuring a diverse tropical plants. It is also a popular camping ground for the university students and staff and the public. And this is where a natural history museum is being constructed. The museum is an initiative of Her Royal Highness Princess Mahachakri Siริธร. With combined land and man-made lakes of 48 hectares, Walay Park is a famous place for recreation, not only for students and staff but also for the public. Sitting at the park's deck watching a sunset against Khao Luang Mountains in the evening is a pleasure enjoyed by many. Walay University plays a very significant role in addressing the country's healthcare needs, especially in southern Thailand. The University Medical Center, constructed on 65 hectares and with 750 beds, and the most advanced medical technology will be operational starting in 2021, serving up to 500,000 patients annually. The university is committed to providing education opportunities for all. The university seeks to excel in research and innovations. The university's mission to produce graduates that are both professionally competent and morally sound is uncompromising, consistent with the vision to be an institution of good governance, a source of knowledge for critical problems facing the nation, to unfailingly address community needs, and to strive for international recognition for excellence. A university where young people can embrace their dreams, a university that challenges itself to promote harmony and solve global problems. Change never stops. We are changing. We are a university of quality. This is a land of glory for all.
All right, thank you so much for that introduction video. For more information, please visit the websites for international affairs. We have the Facebook fan page, and we also have the website. It is posted in the chat room. And if you wish to apply for your studies in Walay University, you can go and visit the following websites: or the Graduate School and School of Science, or you can go to the website of the Walay University itself. And for the information of everybody, I would like to check if everyone was able to install the Wolfram Mathematica, which is very important for this training. In case that you do have troubles with that, please let us know. In case that you haven't had installed your Mathematica on your devices, please do comment on the chat room so that we can assist you with your concern. All right, so to formally start our program, I would like to request and turn over the floor to our academic officer in international affairs. We have Ms. Nitiwan from KL.
Thank you, John. So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome you all to the webinar on basic AI and machine learning for STEM. The first episode of Walay University International Webinar 2022. I am Ms. Nitiwan from KL, Academic Officer of Center for International Affairs, Walay University. May I be with you today as the moderators of this event. The webinar is organized by School of Science and supported by Center for International Affairs. On behalf of the organizers and the guest speaker, I would like to extend a warm welcome to today's workshop. Also, I would like to encourage you to explore the class material that have been posted on the Google Meet. Today we have, at the moment, we have around 38 participants, mostly from Vietnam, right, and Bangladesh, and from Thailand. Yeah. This is the great opportunity for you to connect with the college. So please feel free to chat with the friends. Okay, so please allow me to briefly tell you about the schedule of the today's workshop. So We will start with the greetings, opening remark by Assistant Professor Dr. Patnarin Supakorn, our Acting Director of Center for International Affairs. Then it's a welcome remark to the participants by our speaker, Associate Professor Dr. Krishnade Charan Suthasini. And after that, we will have a group photo together. And then we will present you a video presentation of Walayalak University, a beautiful campus. And after that, it will be the beginning of the class. Okay. So now, may I introduce you to our Assistant Professor, Dr. Patnarin Supakorn, Acting Director of Center for International Affairs. Were it to give an opening remark, please welcome.
Thank you, Nan. Can you can hear me, right? Okay, thank you, Associate Professor Dr. Krishnade Charan Suthasini and all the lovely team for this great seminar, and our participants from Vietnam, Bangladesh, and Thailand. May I spend a moment to welcome all of you to this webinar. Nowadays, more and more of our physical boundaries can no longer part human beings from one another, and thanks to technology. Even when we are harshly stricken by COVID-19, now we can still get closer to one another through the benevolent mercy of technology. Life-changing technology is in fact part and parcel of our everyday life now. We go everywhere, even to our bedroom, with one kind of technological gadget or another. We may experience the time when we forget our purse, our wallet at home, but we are now relying heavily on technology. Our expectation of technological gadgets we love are now even higher. These intriguing gadgets for the future generations bring forth fusion of awe and angst or frustration. Larry Page, one of the co-founders of Google, mentioned, for example, artificial intelligence would be the ultimate version of Google, the ultimate search engine that would understand everything on the web. It would understand exactly what you wanted. We are doing that now. However, we can get incrementally closer to that. And that is basically what Google is working on. In contrast, people like a billionaire entrepreneur who founded PayPal, Tesla Motors, trying to think that there should be some regulatory oversight, maybe at the national or international level, just to make sure that we don't do something very foolish. I mean, with artificial intelligence, there are people like the actress whose name is Gemma Whelan and Yahala Gayjoy in HBO fantasy drama series Game of Thrones. I would probably say I am in fact, perhaps pride and intellect are not far away from each other. Things can become real in your mind. You can be tricked, and you believe things wouldn't be ordinarily as you would think. A world run by automatons doesn't seem completely unrealistic anymore, and it is a bit chilling. The workshop Basic AI and Machine Learning for Science, Technology, the foundation of artificial intelligence and machine learning for you shape the future of technology. I do hope to the right direction of sustainable world. The lights which have been lit by the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Let's move forward together towards development of resilient infrastructure, promotion of inclusive and sustainable industrialization, and the foster of innovation that does not leave behind and shed any AI doubts anymore, but leave with humanity golden signs of AI and machine learning. Walilag University welcomes all international and national colleagues to our first episode of International Webinar Series 2022, which is called Basic AI and Machine Learning for STEM, hosted by our leading scholar, Associate Professor Dr. Gritsanade Jaran Suthasini from the School of Science, Wat Lelak University in the Upper South of Thailand. For those who are interested in learning more about AI and machine learning or seek research collaboration, please do not hesitate to contact the Center for International Affairs, and the contact information is left behind in our chat for already. And EIA wish you the best AI and machine learning experiences and the bright future of sustainable world of worthy technology. Please enjoy the webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, Associate Professor Dr. Patharin Supakorn, for a warm welcome. So next, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce you as Associate Professor Dr. Gritsanade Jaran Suthasini. He received the DPST Scholarship Graduate Bachelor of Science in Physics Second Class Honor from Chulalongkorn University and PhD from Warwick University, UK. He is the representative of Glove Technologies Working Group from Asia Pacific regions since 2014 until present. He is currently the chair of Master of Science and PhD in Data Science and AI. He is also the director of Center of Excellence for Eco-Informatics. Please welcome Dr. Gritsanade to
Hello, everybody.
John.
Yes, in Thailand it's good morning, but I'm not sure about other people from other countries. Okay, but anyway, welcome to our webinar organized by the CIA and Walilag University. First of all, I would like to mention that this session is designed for STEM educators and novices interested in the AI and machine learning. Okay, and normally when we talk about AI and machine learning, you would require substantial amount of background knowledge. But with the help of technology, now everybody actually can have access to this technology. And the technology that we're going to use today is so-called Wolfram Mathematica. So before I'm wasting some time here, I would like to again remind you that you can post any question, any comments in the Zoom chat box. There will be people helping, answering, and interacting with you guys right here. Okay, thank you very much, and you can proceed to the next activity.
Thank you, Dr. Gritsanade. So now I would like to invite you all to take a group photo together. Kindly turn on your cameras.
We would like to request everyone to please turn on their cameras so that we could have our group photo.
So the group photo will consist of 3 different styles. The first style will be smile. The second style I would like to be like thumb up. Okay, and the last will be mini heart. Okay, so waiting for everyone to turn on the camera. Okay. All right. So I will start count 1, 2, 3, and then we will take a photo. Okay. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay. Second. Okay, the second photo, please, with a thumb up. Okay. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Yes. And the last group photos with a mini heart, please. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Okay. So next, I would like to present a short video presentations of Wallaillac University's beautiful campus. Please enjoy our video. Sorry. Thank you for watching video presentations. Center for International Affairs is pleased to welcome you all to our beautiful campus in the future. Now, I would like to turn the stage over to Mr. Jones and Mr. Procis and asking him to start the basic AI and machine learning workshop. Please welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Prumkeo, for that introduction. And yeah, for more information about the school, the university, you can visit the website. The website link has been posted on our Google, Zoom chat room. All right, so welcome everyone to our proper session for this online webinar for basic AI and machine learning for STEM. So as you know that our speaker for today is none other than my advisor. I would like to request everyone to kindly register, make sure that you are able to register to our Google form for self-introduction, because the data there are needed for this training as well. And also make sure that everyone had installed the Wolfram Mathematica. If you haven't had installed it, you can visit the website also I posted in the chat room. If you do have more questions, you can go ahead and let us know. So any update, Ajahn Pusip, for this webinar? Before Ajahn Chris will proceed with the proper session.
Thank you, Mr. John, and very welcome to every one of you. And I hope you will enjoy and learn a lot of things from Professor Chris today, and hope one day maybe you can visit to our campus. In our team, John, me, we also have Ajahn Ram and also Mr. Sirin. So if you have any question, you can raise your hands and we can assist to you. Okay, thank you. Back to you, John.
So this time, please open your Mathematica, Wolfram Mathematica on your devices, because Ajahn Chris will be showing us and helping us out how to use this basic tool that you have with you. So I would like to turn this over to Ajahn Chris.
Okay, thank you so much, John, for very warm welcome and introduction. And also another thank to the CIA for making this happen. First thing first, I'd like to make sure that everybody actually have joined our Google Classroom. And what I'm going to do now is to share my screen, because nobody actually shared for me at the moment. Okay, let me see where it should be, this one. Okay. Okay, everybody see my screen now?
Yes, Ajahn.
Okay, this is the website for today's webinar. And if you're not joining the classroom, please do so. I'm sharing the class code now. Okay. You can use your phone to capture the code, or maybe just write it down. It's only 8 characters. Okay. I also copy the link. I think John can help me, right? Copy the link and post it in the chat box.
Definitely, Ajahn.
Okay. And we're gonna proceed with the introduction to the Mathematica. I'm not sure I need to do the slideshow or not. Okay. Okay. Mathematica is actually in the past is more like a package software, but Mathematica actually is in that maybe like 10, 20 years ago, is actually called the 5th generation software because it's actually AI. Okay, and what I mean by AI, imagine just 20, 40 years ago, you haven't actually heard about AI in general public, right? But it actually have been started, the AI technology that long, you know, like 30, 40 years ago. And Mathematica is one of the kind of software that fall into this category. What I mean by that, okay? The software actually have an AI kernel, okay? We call it Mathematica kernel, and it's actually AI engine, okay? So what we actually do in, you know, using Mathematica, we're not actually programming it, but we actually dialogue with it, okay? So when we start using Mathematica, you actually ask the AI, the expert system. In that time, they call AI has many categories, and one of that is expert system. This is acting like an expert system. You asking something, and then the AI engine answering something back, okay? And that's the basic of using Mathematica. You have in with some number, the sequence of your question, and then Mathematica process that and then answering you something out that call out with some numbers, okay? And this interaction, you know, in the past is actually working on the internet. Okay, so you have a dumb terminal and and you're talking with it, you know, sending some command, sending something, and then Mathematica answering you back over the internet. Okay, because in that time, computer is not very good, it's very slow, and you need a very big, you know, big server to actually doing some complicated calculation or complicated query. Okay, so for the people like me, you know, who actually start doing computing in the very, very old time, this is very natural because you cannot access to the mainframe or the supercomputer by yourself. You need a terminal. Okay, but right now, because the computer has advanced a lot, all that processing power actually move into your computer, in your personal computer, in notebook computer. So the boundary between, you know, this kind of interaction is kind of blur, okay? But it's still there. I will show you. It's still there. And if anybody interested in reading the history of Mathematica, you can go to this website. And this is actually Stephen Wolfram, who actually a physicist and building this system from the ground up, okay, and actually still be the owner of the software. And the Mathematica actually have now evolved into the name Wolfram instead of just Mathematica. And Wolfram is expanding and growing. It's become like a platform, you know, it's not a system, a software package anymore. It's more like a platform. So now when you do Mathematica or Wolfram Mathematica, you not only compute on your own computer, you can actually send your computation, your machine learning kernel, your AI kernel into the cloud and have it execute there, okay? And we're gonna show you all of that technology in the next activity, okay? And it started, I think, 1988, and now it's 1972. Can you help me? How many years it already have passed? Celine, can you help me calculate this? This year is 2022, right?
It's about to be 34 years, John.
Yeah, 44 years already. With this kind of, you know, software, it's very long.
34 years.
Yeah, very, very long. I actually first
sorry.
used Mathematica on a Macintosh, when I was fourth year undergrad at Chulalongkorn. Okay, it's come with the the beautiful Macintosh, but it's black and white monitor. And I did something wrong. It crashed the system, and the whole department, trying to ask me to responsible for it. Somehow the drive, the diskette in the drive is not ejecting out, so the machine cannot reboot. Okay, but the solution to that is very simple. You need a little needle and push it in the hole, and then it's floppy out. The floppy disk cannot eject out, and then the thing is, went fine. Okay, but if you want to have a look at the video clip and anything, then please do so. And the system actually have evolved, and being used by many professionals, especially mathematicians, physicists. Okay, and you can use it to do, like high school mathematics, high school calculus, up until, right now I'm using it as well for my research, be after PhD, and maybe I'm still using it for the rest of my life. It's kind of not the software that you use for some, certain period of time. It actually can, be with you all along and keep developing all the time, and okay, I think that's, so I should start showing you something about the AI function of the Mathematica. Next thing, I'm gonna show you another screen. And I think it's this one. Can you see it? Oh, no, not the one I meant to. I think this one, okay. What I'm showing you now is actually not on my computer. Okay, it's a remote desktop connection to another computer, which is equipped with GPU, graphic card. And I can start using Mathematica like this one. Okay, so I can you actually see this clearly, John or John Pusit? Maybe the character is too small.
Yeah, yeah, I could see it, John. But
what about this one? Can you see it?
yes.
Is it clear enough?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So what I'm going to ask the AI or the Mathematica AI or the Mathematica engine is I ask 1 + 1. Okay. And to send this to Mathematica kernel, you have to hit shift. You have to hold the shift keyboard and press enter. Okay. And as you can see that my question is at in 36. Okay, this is important. The number actually telling you the sequence of the the question that I asked to the kernel. Okay, and the output from the AI is actually 2. Okay, so this is very simple, right? Okay, so I'm checking another question. I say 1 + x. What you're gonna get from that is 1 + x. See, because this is the, how to say, this is the easiest form that all the maybe people can tell you for, because x is not defined. Okay, that means it's just reflecting the question, that's the output of the answer. Okay, so this is example of interacting with the Mathematica kernel. Okay, but what I'm going to show you now is another way to, how do you get your Mathematica on, to use it? Okay. First thing, I will show you this one. Sharing screen. Moving to this screen. No, this one. No. Okay. The first thing we call Wolfram engine. Okay. The software that John and Ajahn Pusit and Mukmik prepare for you guys to use, it may not last forever. You have to pay some money because it's not free software. Okay. But actually, I'm not quite correct that I'm saying it's not free software, because there are free version of Wolfram Mathematica that is called the Wolfram engine. Okay. So you can actually request and get a download for the OS that you are using. Like if you're using the Mac, the Apple products, you can select download engine for the Mac. Okay. And if you use Windows, there are also a version for Windows that you can actually download the engine, and then you can start using Mathematica right away. Okay. Or even Linux. Okay. So if you don't want to buy, the software, because it's quite a little bit, expensive in comparing to other software, but you can actually have a cloud platform as well, which is cheaper. Okay. And then you can download Wolfram engine. I think there are some example of how to use the Wolfram engine. Okay. This is the dialogue, that being done on, any Wolfram engine that you might want to use. So you just, after you install it, you can use Wolfram script. Okay. And then you can send the input that you would like to ask Mathematica, the same as in 1 or in 33 that I just shown you right now. Okay. And then the AI engine will answer this back. This example actually asking where is the geo position of here. Okay, of right here. Okay, if you use that kind of code, then you get the latitude and longitude back from the kernel. Okay. Another example, you can ask the engine to classify, the word Wolfram engine is really cool. Whether it's, it's positive word or it's negative word, what positive mean, right? Something that when you listen, you kind of, cheer you up, it's kind of positive energy. Okay. And this is one example of the AI capability or machine learning capability of the Wolfram engine. Okay. And it can classify it as a positive. Okay. That's the output. Okay. So you can actually build a simple chat bot using Wolfram script as well, using Wolfram engine. Okay, another one, you can like input the string sunrise. Okay, and the what is the sunrise? It wishes at that city. Okay, and you send this input to the Wolfram kernel, and then it answer you that today the sunrise at 5:31. Okay, it actually very, very good example, because yesterday was, or maybe today was the equinox. It's the vernal equinox. John, right? What equinox is? John is not with me.
Yes, John.
You know what equinox is, right?
Yes, John.
Hmm?
Yeah, yes, we know what is equinox.
Yeah, and it's today, right?
March 20, that was actually Sunday.
Yeah, March 20 or March 21st, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Depends on
the time zone.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, yeah, that's what Mathematica Wolfram can also answer you for that too. Okay, another platform that if you don't want to pay some money, you can actually use it. is called the Raspberry Pi. Okay, it's a small computer which is not very expensive. I think it's like 1,000 baht, maybe. You know about that price. 1,000 baht is how much in dollars? 33.
I think so. $1,
$1.30 baht, right? Approximately. So this is about $33. So you see, it's very, very, very cheap, and Mathematica is free on every Raspberry Pi. Okay, you can actually get Raspberry Pi with like 8 GB memory or even 16 GB memory. See, so you can have a powerful Mathematica on, you know, on this kind of device that is free, you know, so you don't actually have to buy, you know, the expensive software. You can actually get it for free. Okay, and another platform that you can try is actually Wolfram Cloud. I'm not sure, John, you have asked participants to register on the Wolfram Cloud or not?
I think I was able to register already to Wolfram Cloud at time.
Yeah, but what about the participant? Okay, anyway,
I will be sending the link again to them so that they will be able.
yeah, I'm going to do that too, but somehow Zoom occupy my
Yeah, no worries.
video-
It's fine.
my
Let me
window
do it.
here. Okay, I'm checking this one instead then. Wolfram Cloud. I think I already logged in. So if you know, after you register, you can see something like this. Okay, and to register is free unless you want to keep the file, or you want to, you know, unless you want to use it for extensive use, like doing a lot more computation, then you can pay for the subscription. It's not buying the whole, you know, software. Is only like a 1 year subscription or 2 year subscription, depend on, you know, the amount of computation that you need. Okay, and we're going to do some of these example as well. Let me try to maybe I try log out first and then log in again to show you that. See, in this case, you don't have to have, you know, computer at all. You just, you know, sign up for free. Okay, and what you need is the valid email account. Okay, however, if you use Gmail account, you may have to pay some money now, you know, for the Google to, you know, get you that account. Okay, and now I'm gonna sign in. Okay, and you just type in the email. You see that I have many email to use with Wolfram Mathematica because they are free, right? So I create some of the account, and then we can have many sessions on Mathematica, you know. Okay, this is the web that's gonna look like after you sign in. And you can see it have extensive documentation that you can look, you know, and use it. So I'm going to show you some new example. We are going to create a new notebook. Okay, in Mathematica, the extension for the file is actually .nb. Okay, so when you name it, it's going to be like a first session .nb. Okay, and you can actually download this to your computer, you know, for further use. Okay, but if you want to upload your file to the Wolfram Cloud, I think you have to pay some money. You have to, you know, being a legal subscription to, you know, to the Wolfram Cloud. Okay, I'm going to try 1 + 1. 1 + 1. And then shift enter. That's gonna give me 2. Okay, that is one example. And to get started, you can actually do the language intro here, and then you can do like fast intro for programmer. Okay, you can actually get started. They have they have the 5-minute hands-on intro, introduction to the Wolfram language. Celine, you think I should stop here and let them, let the participant doing some of this?
Yes, of course, John. You can.
Okay, I want to keep you listening for too long. It's boring.
Okay, yeah, you can. We can start.
Okay, and I will give you maybe like 5 minutes because it's 5-minute introduction. You can do that quickly in 5 minutes. So I give maybe another 2 minutes for preparation. Okay, I would like John to share your screen on Zoom on this. Are you ready?
I'm answering right now, John, the question of one of our participants about not able to get the activation code. So it was a question of Abdul Karim, but yeah, I could open.
Okay, you take care of that. I'm not sure. Bookbig still here?
Mook, can you help me for a moment with this screen right now? And I will just address the question first, and then I will go ahead and share it later.
How to get to the chat box when you
ค่ะ
share?
อาจารย์ให้ทำอะไรหรือเปล่าคะ
ให้ตัวอย่างให้เอาตัวนี้ขึ้นให้ participant ดูโอเคฟัง
อ๋อ ให้หนูแชร์เหรอ
ครับผมแล้วก็ทำครับ
โอเคสักครู่นะคะ
For the activation code problem, you may ask him to actually go to wolframcloud.com. Maybe that easier. Then you wouldn't need an activation code.
I already sent the website for Wolfram Cloud, and
Okay.
you can sign up there for free to make an account.
Yep. Oh,
Okay, good to hear that.
Yeah,
I'm
able to
developer.
activate the good to hear that. Yes. So today now it's like 9:50, maybe another 10 minutes would sufficient. So Serene, can you keep the time?
Sure, I can.
So Mubik, you have 10 minutes to complete this exercise. Basically, you just read the instruction. This is type 2.2, 2 plus 2. And then chip enter. See that? It gives you the answer 4. Okay. So first thing, you can use Mathematica like a calculator. Okay. When you finish for this one, you can click next. Watch out for the in and out. You're in front of your input. Okay. Keep enter. Okay. For this input, you can actually generate, generate series of number from 1 to 50 with just one enter, with just one chip enter. That means in the computing world, you can actually generate information from a very simple, very simple input like range 50. You can like range 500. Can you try range 500? Okay. You can try range 10 million, 100 million, and Mathematica will take care of that until your system resources is maxed out. Okay, because we know that every resource, on the earth has limitation. But to, to do the coding. There is no limitation. So be careful and watch out for this. Okay. Next. The next one is random word. Okay. It means exactly what it means. It generates the random word. So you can use it for, anything like games, or if you want to do like creative thinking, creativity, brainstorming, something like that. You can, use Mathematica for that as well. You can use random word 10. And after you have all these words, you can use it for, generating idea, and then you can solve your problem creatively. Okay. It's one of the creativity activity that you can use. And I found that this is very lightning because I don't know some of these words like foible. You know what is what that means?
Some of the words are actually new to me, especially foible. I don't know what is it, and I am now actually looking at the meaning of it. Okay.
This is my example that computer know more than us.
Well, yeah, exactly.
They are very, very good at this, and we cannot compete with them because they're okay. Oh, okay. This is a little bit more mathematics. Another function called random graph. You can see that there is a pop-up that you can actually click if you too lazy to actually type all the all the function name. Chip enter. See, it can also create the random graph. So it can produce a lot of instead just word. Just one dimension. It can do two dimension, connectivity, something like that as well. Okay. Okay, Mukbik, you have 5 minutes. Community graph plot. You can select from the list. Okay, and then watch out for the square bracket because we have to have a pair of that, so which is start, which is end. Random graph. Okay, you already have two square bracket and one curly bracket, so you have to finish matching those pair of square and curly bracket. Okay. Okay, so somehow Mathematica, this is one of the deep learning that Mathematica have, feature inside already Mathematica kernel. So it can group, the random graph into, many, kind of file structure inside a random set of things. Okay, next.
Four minutes left.
Yeah, 4 minutes left. Now, this is a new feature that is had NLP. This is another AI functionality in Mathematica. To do that, you hold down Control and press equal. It will create, a small box. You can see that. And then you can type in, any sequence. You don't have to worry about the bracket. You don't have to worry about the square bracket or the curly bracket. You just type in, natural language input. And then you press enter. It will give you, it will try to understand your input and then give you example. So this one is you type in city in Europe, right? And then it interpret it and then understand your input and then give out the list of all the capital city in Europe for you. You don't have to go look in the Google. You can also actually doing the Google search, but then the Google, you finish there. But in Mathematica, you can use this as another input, you know, so to do more searching, to do more computation, you know, after this. Okay, next. To do that, you just use the symbol, percent symbol. You know, that symbol, it actually means the last output. Okay. And from the capital city, you can do the geolist part. Keep enter. So, oh, okay. What happened? บุ๊กบิ๊กกด2 ทีบุ๊กบิ๊กย้อนกลับไปก่อน Okay, she do that twice. Okay. Keep enter หรือยังมุกมิก
enter แล้ว
Okay, now you see that from the last output, it can list out in the map of the capital city in Europe. Okay. So you can see that actually Mathematica has a capacity in the geo computing as well. Okay, next.
Okay, 1 more minute.
And you can also publish your result on cloud. Just one, you know, input to Mathematica kernel. And then it gives you the link, okay, that you can click and give it to your friends. And or you can actually see that output. We'll make copy and then place it in the chat box so everybody can try. Not this one. Okay, okay. Okay, so if anybody want to try it, you can click on and that one, and then now you can show your result to the world, you know.
Yeah, we can see it, John.
Instead of just on your computer, you can actually share that to everybody. Okay, you have 1 minute, Mukmik. Congratulations, you finished the first quick 5-minute introduction, but we use 10 minutes because I have to explain, you know, you guys everything. But I'm not sure, maybe 10 minutes is more suitable for this exercise, not just 5 minutes. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Now I think we have done some quick learning on how to use Wolfram Cloud. Okay, Mukmi, can you stop sharing your screen? Now I'm going to go back to the classroom. Okay, this is the one that we just finished. Okay, that Wolfram Cloud. Okay, next thing that would I like to discuss with you guys. You can always give your comment or question in the chat box. I have to remind you that all the time, okay, because it's very important. I don't want to share the whole screen, so I just extend this Google slide. Okay, because when I share it, it becomes full screen and I don't like that. But you can see it clearly, right? Okay. So first thing first, here I would like you guys to, you know, introduce yourself. I'm not sure you already done that. Can anybody tell me how many people actually register on the Google Sheet?
I'm gonna join. We're looking at it.
Pichai, can you share me the link to the Google Sheet again? Or maybe I can find here. Okay, Pichai share me already the link. Okay, and actually Pichai produce a map based on the location that you share with us. And we have participants from the Philippines, right? Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia, and I think that Indonesia, right? Okay, later on, I will show you Mathematica can access to this cloud file and also put another map that is much better than the one that I'm showing you now. Okay, that's done. The Wolfram Cloud also done. Okay, and this is my Facebook. If anyone want to ask me something, you can also actually add me as friend. This is my Facebook QR code. Okay. Okay, if you want to take a photo, you can do now. Okay. I have to mention a little bit about STEM education because this is the webinar for STEM education. The key point here, and I would like to mention about STEM education in relationship with the machine learning and AI. Okay. The first thing is that in STEM education, it moves beyond inquiry-based research learning cycle. Okay. If you are, a science teacher, you would probably have heard the word inquiry-based, learning cycle. And in STEM, it involves, engineering, technology. Okay, so it's a little bit, move beyond that. And also is interdisciplinary. When we talk about interdisciplinary, we're not talking about, just integrating all the discipline, but we actually look out for emergence. Okay, when you have 1 + 1 = 2, that means it's normal, it's not immersion. But if you 1 + 1 and you equal to 5, okay, then you have synchronized and you have made emergence out of that. Okay, when you combine science and engineering, if you get the result only, like science and engineering together, then that's 1 + 1 = 2. But if you have created something new, that you cannot explain in terms of science or engineering, then you have emergence. Okay, and this is the most key thing that in STEM education that you have to think about. And in relationship with machine learning and AI, I think this is the same thing. Okay, when you have data, in other words, you have like big data. Okay, you have so many small components, but AI or machine learning can emerge something from that pool of, the data. Okay, then you are successful in, creating a new paradigm or new thing out of your big data. Okay, And instead, it also have skill set, you know, like language. Okay, so when you talking about skill set in engineering, for example, when you go out and you look at the, you know, the pain point or the problem at hand, if you have engineering skill, you will have something pop up in your mind. Okay, this is not easy to do, but it's actually built up, you know, if you apply STEM for a long enough time. Okay, and another thing is that in school, you know, environment or university environment, if you use STEM, normally people think that, okay, this is extra work. Okay, it's have to something, you know, have to add to your work at hand, but it's not actually. Okay, you have to adjust the mindset. That's the idea, not to add on more work to do. Okay, so for example, if you're giving students some problem, okay, this is the problem. Okay, you have to have another question for the engineering. You have to add another question for technology. You have to add another question for mathematics. That the add on, you know, it's not like that. It's creating more tasks for the student. Instead, you have just the same, you know, one question, but it has to have insight in all these discipline, you know, inside that one question instead. Okay. And you have to remind that science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, they are different ways of thinking. You know, they're not the same. Okay, some people say, oh, engineering is like science. No, it's not. It's different kind of thinking at all. You know, it's not the same. It's have different mindset. Okay, and you have to mention that. Also, when you're doing machine learning and AI, this is also important. Okay, I will explain to you more in the you know, near future, in the near. Okay, example. Okay, and also coding pitfall. Okay, when you do AI and machine learning, you cannot avoid programming or you cannot avoid coding. Okay, because you are actually giving instruction to machine. Okay, you have to, you know, like giving some order to somebody. That means you have to at least write something out. Okay, it's the same for organization, right? If you ask somebody to do something for you, you have to think about that and you have to write it down. And that's, you know, can be in detail, in very, you know, in very fine detail, or it's just the, you know, quick abstraction of something very complicated. Okay, so it's very short, but again, you have to give them some, you know, some coding, okay, or some, you know, some instruction. So the word coding, instruction, programming language is really, you know, all this come together now. And right now we prefer to use the word coding. Okay, it's not like you have to do programming in Fortran or in C, you know, or in Pascal or Python. It's more like, you know, a collection of reusable code or reusable abstraction. Okay, when you do that, everything is much easier. Okay, but if you have to do everything in detail, okay, that's very tedious and it's very hard to remember. And that's when people talk about AI and machine learning, lots of people think that, oh, this is not for me, this is too damn, you know, damn detailed, they are difficult, you know. So it's not like that. Okay, and we're gonna show you in the next few examples. And of course, you have to use technology to do that. Okay, if you don't have technology, then you cannot talk about this at all. Okay, so another pitfall that because coding is technology, some teacher and school may think that they're not ready. They have to have big computer. They have to, you know, computer with keyboard, you know, something like that. And actually, Wolfram Cloud, you can use it on your mobile phone. Okay, if you go to Play Store or App Store on the iOS, you can also actually search for that app and you can use the phone to do your coding. It's not that difficult anymore. Okay, and you don't have to have big budget to, you know, to have the computing facility in your school or in your university. Okay, you just have to have internet account. Okay, and then you can use it. And Wolfram Cloud actually is very, very powerful computer. okay, that you cannot actually host in your university or in your company. Okay, you can actually have access to that on cloud. Okay, and the reason that AI and machine learning is very, very popular now because of this technology. Okay, we call it big data. Okay, in the past, like before internet era, data is so scarce. Okay, so scarce, so it's not easy to get. It's not easy to obtain. Okay, for example, I want to get the title information. It's not, you know, they have to go to some authority to buy a book and curate it. You know, it's so difficult. But right now you can actually get it from the internet. You can actually Google it. You can actually download it. Okay, and it seems like it's almost the same for every data source right now that is available on the internet. Okay, so to train in machine learning, you have to train, you know, the neural network or the kernel of Mathematica to actually have new capacity, new capability, to have emergent functionality from that big data. It's not difficult anymore, you know. So you just have to carefully select your data, okay, clean it, and then you know, make it in the form of machine can understand, and put that into the black box of neural network, and the machine will learn. Okay, but as I said, garbage in, garbage out. Okay, if your input is bad, okay, don't expect the result to be good. Okay, so when the output is bad, then you have to go back to your input. Okay, and this can be a, you know, like a learning cycle. Okay, it's the same as human. Okay, you have to teach them. You have to teach them something, and then you know, do examination. You assess their knowledge. Okay, if something wrong, then you correct it. You know, and make it repetitive. Okay, the problem with human is that we cannot copy our brain. Okay, that's one of the in the present anyway. Okay, you cannot copy your brain. Okay, like, oh, this is my head. I want to copy my head to another person. It's not possible. But for digital intelligence or AI or machine learning, it's not that difficult anymore. You can just, you know, doing the data copy of that brain to another one. That's why it's so scary. Okay, if you have very good machine learning, you know, platform, then you can expand it indefinitely. Okay, that's why people are so afraid of AI and machine learning will take over that job. In the past, if you have good taxi driver, okay, that's just one good taxi driver. You don't have 1,000 good taxi driver like that. Okay, but for the machine, you can actually copy that, you know, and put it into every car, right? Then you have 1,000 or 2,000 or 10,000, you know, good taxi driver, you know, and that's a problem. Okay, that's a problem. So that's why people say we have to actually require a new skill, and that new skill is actually how to, you know, teach machine, okay, and make that our alliance instead of our enemy. Okay, and this is like roadmap for, you know, AI and machine learning. Okay, like in the 60s, okay, people have already started talking about the, you know, AI, and Mathematica is in 1988, right? It's starting of the, you know, the new machine learning era. Okay, and right now we have deep learning. That means you don't have to actually teach the machine. The machine will be more like us. Okay, it can gathering the big data inside and then make a sense of what is there inside the data. That's what we call deep learning. Okay, so we don't have to like teach the machine, but I think we have to help the deep learning machine anyway to make sense of what they actually have learned. Okay, they might find some pattern in the data that okay, itself doesn't understand. Okay, that's why we have to know how to actually help this thing learn. And because the technology is double-sided sword, so good thing is that if we have the machine that can solve some problem, then we can have 10,000 machines that can solve the same problem, and that will help us a lot. And also it can take over our job as well. Okay, so this double-sided sword, so you have to be careful. Okay, and AI is technology. Okay, so there are worries, and there are like people actually think a lot about these consequences, so they develop the principle, and for example, for the Google, you can actually go to this website, and they actually like a philosophy, like the guideline, they have developed this kind of thinking that so in this company, to use AI, you can use it in many possible ways. So Google has have put up some of these and list out and we can actually look at this and use it as our guideline, because right now if we have have the power to predict future, power to like hustling people, then you have to be careful, using that kind of power that we have. So for Google, the first principle would be socially beneficial. Okay, and okay, when they use AI, you have to think about this, like healthcare, security, energy, something like that, transportation. So, but I don't know, depend on what you will, but at least they put it out. Okay, socially beneficial can be harmful to individual beneficial, right? And that's the like political and this discussion on that. Anyway, is there. The second principle would be avoid creating and reinforcing unfair bias. Okay, because we can use personal data, like Serene have one set of data, and maybe John also have another one, and you both apply for university lecturer position. Okay, then Wellak University can support, they have the facility to use the AI or machine learning on these two people. Okay, and then it can derive like some using the deep learning. They can say, okay, Celine has tendency to drop out from work more than John, like this kind of thing. And then now we can have the unfair bias to these two persons. So be careful on that. Okay, the third one, okay, be built and tested for safety. Okay, this is another important. If you have like self-autonomous car, okay, because driving can kill, right? So you have to be sure that it's being built and tested for safety. Otherwise, it can be very dangerous. Okay, like building a robot, it can walk around the street and kill people, right? So and you see that in many movies. Okay, the fifth principle will be incorporate privacy design and principle. Okay, this is very important because this is based on big data and data that normally we cannot access because there are so many data, right? But with AI, with the capacity of a powerful machine, this million or 10 million set of data, they can come up with some numbers. Okay, and and if you expose that kind of personal number or data to the public, that will be bad for the privacy of the person. Okay, and that's you seem to have problem with Facebook and many companies that use our data for for their advertisement, for example. Okay, so this has to be think carefully. Number 6 is a little bit how do you say abstract. Uphold high standard of scientific excellence. I don't know what that means because I think excellence is very, very difficult word to understand, but it's there. Okay. And then the number 7, we made an available for users that accord with these, with these principles. Okay, that means you have to read again number 1 to number 6. Okay, okay, the same time, our government try to give us the last. Okay, that's example of Google, and Microsoft also have another one. Okay. So big company already have this kind of principle list out. I'm not sure it's required by law, but in Thailand it's still not, actually being taught about this. And I think it's going to be very, very similar to Google, except that it put in different categories, in different categories, different way of looking at it. Okay, perspective on responsible AI. Okay, we can see the word equity, we can see the word competitive edge, and we can see the word responsible AI. Okay, so because it's machine, it cannot be responsible for anything because it's machine. So Microsoft would use this word in their principle. Okay, but I'm not going into the detail on this kind of thing, so I will just skip that. Okay, and the reason I put up these two companies as example because they are leading the technology and they also have made some of the AI engine for use. Like for example, Google has the TensorFlow for doing AI. We are not using TensorFlow, although it now can be very popular, but I think it's made for, for developers, not for us, not made for everybody. Okay, and it requires a kind of, learning curve, so. And in our lab, we have developed some module, learning module on using the AI and machine learning for STEM. And okay, this is some example or detailed explanation of machine learning, okay, and deep learning, and then NLP. NLP is natural language processing. Okay, basically you can build a chatbot or dialogue, automation dialogue, that so. To actually tell machine to do things. Okay. And I think this slide is similar to what I've just showed you about the Google principle of using AI. Okay. Let's think rationally, think humanly, something like that. Okay. And for the machine learning, normally it divides into supervised learning and then unsupervised learning. For supervised learning, you have to group some data into groups, and then you can have the machine to learn to classify, and you can use that to classify things. Okay. And for regression, you can use it to like data prediction, based on past experience data. And for unsupervised learning, with the big data, you can actually ask the machine to cluster. Okay, and find some new knowledge, and that we call deep learning. Okay. And this is the example of AI process. Okay, and the first one would be learning process. You have to give them the training set, and then call this reasoning process. This one means that normally in mathematical term, the model will find the suitable parameters, okay, that can minimize the error. Okay, and then you use that model to predict. Okay, and if it's not correct, then you can have it self-correcting, using the new data that they learn, collecting all the parameters, and then once we have done that with a lot of data, usually the correction will be higher. Okay. Okay. Why it's important? I don't have to tell you about this because I think many body, already said it in public that if you have AI, it can complete the job quickly, and it actually did fewer errors. Okay, but it's only for this kind of job, this kind of task. It's repetitive task. It's detail-oriented task. Okay, and you have to deal with a lot of number. Okay, so these three categories is not good for human. Okay, we are not good at doing something repeat and repeat, right? We tend to forget, and we tend to oversimplify, and then we can make mistake or errors. Okay, so there are advantages and disadvantages. Okay, in the disadvantages, we put out the word expensive, but it's not so. Right now, it's actually cheaper than before. Okay, it requires deep technical expertise. Also, not so true because we can show you that it's not that difficult to use. Okay, and lack of ability to generalize from one task to another. Okay, that's the maybe change with the new technology. Okay, but you can have a look and discuss on it. Okay. We also have strong AI and weak AI. Okay. Okay, so for type of AI, there are like 4 types or 4 levels. The first one is reactive AI. Okay, it's good for simple pattern. Okay, and it can beat human because its calculation is much faster than us. Okay, like the word game or the example that we just showed you. But for thing that a little bit more memory based, like you have to have historical data or historical understanding, that you need to go to the type 2. Okay. Then it's actually based on the amount of memory that it has on hand. But I think people like Elon Musk, going to change this because he's going to make I think it's called internet Starlink, right? So that the machine or the AI doesn't have to have data on its on itself. It can download the data from the internet, everywhere in the world, every location in the world. So, but this is the example of the limited memory. Okay. Then in type 3 and type 4, I think we don't have that many of these yet that is self-aware. It know that it exists. Okay, this is still in the scientific sci-fi movie, science fiction movie. Okay, but we're going there, I think. Okay, in education, you can apply AI in the field of automatic grading, so that will give educators more time. Okay, instead of doing detailed calculation, the AI and the machine learning can help us with that. But I have to warn you that you have to make sure that you understand what AI gives you. Okay, that is another step of checking. And then the principle that I just showed you that Google and Microsoft has will be applied here. You cannot use this. And be careful about the privacy of the student. Also, the the bias that you get from this, AI result that you can have on your students. Okay, that's why, this is why I impose the importance of the principle, because before you actually use it, you have to be careful. Also, AI can provide additional support for students, okay, ensuring they stay on track, or can predict what they need, and again, okay, now you can see that you can, if you use this wrongly, you can bias your teaching to some students, okay, and this is not good. You have to be careful on these two when you use the AI result. Okay, and then of course you can access students and adapt to their needs, helping them work on their own pace. Yeah, I'm not sure what this is. This is in some some, how to say, in some standard, it might be biased, because some students will require more of the teaching resources, and you are actually relocate, your resources biasly. Okay, so you have to think about this carefully. Okay, it's also change where and how students learn. I think so. Okay, that's the use of AI. I'm not sure I can go into the detail on this application of AI in manufacturing. Okay, I don't have to go to detail on this because we are not doing, but in finance, okay, now actually people are using this in finance, okay, a lot actually. So you can use it to make help you make decision, like buying stock, or allocating your money, okay. And I think banks are using it to collect our personal data, and then it can actually judge whether the bank should give us the loan, or the money, or the financial support based on our data that they have. Okay, they are using it now anyway, so okay, and it's very important. Transportation, I don't have to tell you, I think you all know, and they depend on how you're gonna use it. Okay, for security as well. Okay, we are actually thinking about tourism security using AI, on this, but we haven't actually write up a proposal. Okay, and of course in agriculture, okay, we can use it on the IoT devices, big data application, drone application, and maybe robots. Okay, that would be the end of the talk for this session. Let me go back to this one. Okay, the next thing that I would like you guys to play around, not just sitting back and listening, is that we're gonna do some, AI in Mathematica, and let's look at the, Google Classroom activity on machine learning example. There will be some more reading if you would like to read, okay, on these two. But if you want to play out, you can go to the, the one that has a dog picture in it. And I'm not sure if you open this, it's going to go to your Wolfram Cloud account in, automatically. But for me, it's already, get into my email, already.
Yes, it did adjourn. It opened to directly to the Wolfram Cloud notebook.
Okay, so what I would like to do now is you get you guys to share your screen, because looking at my screen is not your screen. Okay, I don't know the status of the student screen. So I'm gonna stop sharing and let one of you guys, of the student share the screen. Maybe Ajahn Pusit or John.
Okay, let me share my screen.
Because this is actually webinar. It's not for me to talk alone, So
this is my screen now. it's in the Wolfram Cloud document.
Okay, so the first thing is the image identification. Image identify. Okay, so you can go to that image identify, click and then shift enter. Oh, evaluation not, you see, this will be different from my evaluation not available. You have to make your own copy. Okay, to do that, there is a box, make your own copy, right? You see it?
Yes, yes, I did.
Okay, so everybody actually should see this, and then you can start edit, shift enter.
Still.
Oh, it's not finished. Copying.
Still, yeah, it's still
okay.
copying it.
Yeah, still copying that.
All right, I think it's done.
Okay.
Shift enter.
Then you can type shift enter.
Already.
Okay.
It says domestic cat.
Yes, this is example of the image identification. You can actually click at the cat picture and change it to something else. Yeah, you can maybe cut, edit, and then change it to anything you like, and then paste it somewhere else so that you don't lose the cat. No, you can paste it in the same notebook. It's okay. Maybe under in a new cell. Yeah, and then you can delete the old one. And I think you can Google it and copy and paste here. For the new, you can Google maybe fish. Celine, I think we can give maybe 20 minutes for the participant to play this out.
Sure.
Celine, can you keep the time?
Yes, John, it's already 10:40.
Okay, so it's gonna make it until like 11.
Let me get some image. Any image, John?
I don't know, up to you. You can try fish image or
Bird.
anything, bird.
We can copy from the Google, right?
And then paste it inside, inside the bracket. For function to be known in Mathematica, you need to use, big I, yes, capital I. Wow.
Ocean carp.
Yes. It's no better than me.
And
that example, actually, if you have the link to the image, then you can do that.
Say I will copy.
Nemo.
Somebody want to try the Nemo.
Nemo. This is clownfish.
The clownfish. Oh, there are a lot of clownfish, a variety of clownfish.
I think Google is trying to do the same thing that Mathematica is doing right now, is to do the image search. Okay. We actually use the machine learning function of Mathematica now. So when you have any image that you would like to know some information on it, you can try using this image identify. It's still importing.
Let me copy the link.
Okay, you need yeah, at the end as well to make it a string. Import is the function to have access to the internet and then import the resources from that to use. What happened?
It's still loading and trying.
Okay, take some time. You have to have good internet.
There.
Okay. Now it's actually referred as IMG, right? So you can use image identify IMG. Yeah, it's referred to that symbol. Okay.
And here, image identify IMG. It's a pug.
That was the dog.
A dog. It's not a pug. It's an orange clownfish. It's not Nemo.
Oh.
That's what Cyrillian said.
Well,
Yeah, same.
you can teach them to understand that orange clownfish is an animal,
Yeah.
But at least you already tried it. It can, look it at the cloud image, and then download it to identify it. Okay. Can you go to the next example? I think that
Deep learning.
Yep.
Deep learning is here.
Yes, you can do that. Yes, you have many dogs, right?
Yeah.
Picture of dogs, and then let's see if Mathematica can actually, classify it.
Let's try.
The first function would be the feature extraction. Okay, that's one of the deep learning feature that it has. So from the image, it can actually like pull out the the features of those images. Okay, and then we can create a nearest function so that we can have like a test, image.
Oops.
Okay, don't worry about that. Yeah, shift enter. It will create necessary machine, machine learning function for that. Of course, we don't have all the time to explain everything because we only have 3 hours. This is just give you example, okay, of what you can do. So once you've done all the necessary steps, okay, then you can ask, what is the nearest dog to the, that picture?
And John, I'm gonna have to answer the question here. There's a question.
Yes.
Can you show me how to access this page? I'm a newbie. I'm at the step for choosing new notebook for my files.
Yeah, I already sent a direct message to Pornchai. Is it Pornchai, Jimin? Okay, yeah. He said he can access it.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so it's in the Google Classroom, right?
It's in the Google Classroom. When you open the dog example there, it will automatically get you into the Wolfram Notebook Cloud if you were able to sign in. But if you didn't, then it wouldn't automatically open unless you have the Mathematica open for you. So this is the end adjourned for the deep learning.
Nearest dog.
So John, you finished with the example?
Yeah, I think he's finished adjourned.
But has he tried different image? Yes, for example, has he tried this one? I always have problem in my photo collection that I have, two photos of the same thing. And actually this feature extraction function can be used to delete image pair that are too similar, and using machine learning. Okay, imagine that you can, what can you use with this kind of, technology at your hands? And to do that, you only use this function, delete duplicates. Okay.
Oh, John was disconnected.
Can you hear me?
Yes, John.
I
Yes, I
have
can
problem
explain.
with electricity. There is a power outage here.
Oh, okay.
What
Yeah.
about in for
What place
Celine?
is on?
Your power is okay?
Okay, in here is okay around near Big C.
ABC is okay?
Yes. Yeah.
But John was disconnected.
But John, no?
Yeah, John was disconnected, but our electricity is fine.
What happened to the Walilag University?
It was connected one, but now it's okay.
Okay, John is here.
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, I'm using my mobile phone internet, so the power, the speed might be low, but it's working now, so we can keep working. Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay, I have to save power as much as possible. Okay, can you hear me now, Celine?
Yes, John, I can definitely hear you.
Okay, so looks like it's okay.
Yeah, but there is like a sound that I hear, John.
Okay, right now I have shown the example of the machine learning in Mathematica or in the Wolfram, technology platform. Okay, so that example, I can going to give you the overview of what Wolfram Mathematica can do. Okay, so this slide is actually in Google Classroom. This one. Okay, so everybody can go and check if they cannot see my screen or not hearing me well. Okay, and that with Wolfram machine learning, you can use it to, the first one is automate human judgment task. Okay, like if you have medical data, you can use this to help you with medical diagnostic. Okay, and also for the query control. And I actually have shown you example of the sentence, that Mathematica can determine the sentiment of that sentence. Okay, so you can have one person write down something that come up, that come up in their mind, and then you can do emotional analysis of that, for example. Okay, so this you can do with machine learning in Mathematica. The other one, the next one is also very important. It's called the data assimilation. For example, if you have image, okay, like the one on the left is black and white. Right now, there is technology that you can use to make up a color from the black and white image. Okay, so the color data actually missing from the original data. You can have the Mathematica machine learning to fill in that extra data. Okay. The other one that we actually use it for, like sensor data. Let me turn off. No, I cannot turn off my. Can you hear me well with all this noise?
Yes,
We
Ajahn,
can hear you.
It's a little bit distractive, but we can hear you clearly.
Okay, I cannot turn it off, otherwise my power will gone too.
Yeah, understood, Ajahn.
Okay, for example, if we have sensor data and maybe some of the time that the sensor is not working or internet connection is bad, then you can use machine learning to fill in that gap in the data. Okay. The next one is that because of machine learning, you can use it in many situations. So you can develop a new generation efficient approximation to anything, to anything that you want to make it for the approximation. Okay, because machine learning is very good at filling data, so you can use that to speed up calculation or anything, right? Okay. And of course, when you have very large data, large scale data, you can use it, to make decision as well. Okay, and that I think we have tried some of that already. Okay, and the example that given here is that you can do sales forecasting, or you can do the climb hotspot. Okay, where you have location of the climb, and then you can use Mathematica to find pattern, in that data, and then you can locate that what is the next possible location for the climb to happen. Okay, or even consumer patterns. Okay, how many things that you have bought. Okay, and then you can organize you as a what kind of buyer you are, and then you can find the pattern. Okay. They can recognize or identify objects or categories like text, faces, brands, languages. Okay, that's also what Wolfram can do. They can do automate estimation tasks. Okay, like geolocation, gender, age. Okay, and predict from historical data, make a good prediction. Okay, from what is learned in the past. Okay, and the one that I use a lot is detect anomalies in data. Okay, so if you have a normal pattern and your data actually is not the same in the same pattern, then okay, that's something wrong. Then you can go look into the detail. Because Mathematica can do like also in audio, so it can use to do the speech synthesis, okay, or voice transfer or face transfer, computer graphics. You can do all this together because Mathematica is very rich in in the audio, video, and graphic as well. Okay. This can do the automatically tag elements in the large data set. Okay. That can do for the like spam filtering, sentiment analysis, image classification. I think I don't have to read all these. You can actually go and check out. Okay. So you can actually see that there are example that you can use Mathematica with. Okay, let me see another PDF file that I put out for you. Okay. Okay, I think that this is the same thing, but it has more example on this slide. Let me zoom in more. No. Okay, zoom in more. Okay, I have problem zooming in this file. Maybe I have to download it. Okay, let me go back and click it again and then open in new window. Okay, now I can you see my screen now, right? Better?
Yes, we can see it.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, this is going to give you more example of what you can do with Mathematica. Okay, we have already tried image identify. Okay, and then the next example that it gives here is to classify the the sentence that is emotionally positive or negative. So the function to use is called classify, and then you give the word sentiment as a string, and then you can give the 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 sentence that you want to try. So if you want to try this on your machine, on your Wolfram Cloud, you can do so. You just go to the, where is my Mathematica? Okay, so I just type in classify. Okay, and then the sentiment. Okay, I am bad. See, it can keep the sentiment of that sentence. So I am Superman. Okay, so it's positive. You can try out all this yourself with the look at the PDF file that I'm sharing with you. Okay, the next example would be to actually use the more full form AI or machine learning function on Mathematica is called classify. Okay, so there's a pattern here that we have this character less than, and the state line is actually called association in Mathematica. You don't have to worry about that now. The key thing is that with this, you can use Rocket, and then you can teach machine for Rocket to mean all these pictures. Okay, it's very intuitive. Like if you have this photo, this raccoon photo is called Rocket. Okay, this is from the movie. What movie, you know?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Huh?
That's the Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
The Guardian of the Galaxy. Good.
Yeah.
It's in Marvel Universe. Okay.
Yes.
Marvel.
Right. And for the second one is the Groot image. Okay. So basically, you teach the the kernel to learn that these pictures are Rocket. These things are Groot. Okay. And then it gives you the classifier function. Okay, classifier function, and then you can use it for anything now. For example, you just type C. C is the symbol that you assign to be classify a function, and then you just put in the image, the new image. It's not in the database, you see. This image is not in any of these. Okay, so but you know, the machine can understand that this is crude, and it gives out the word crude. Okay. Okay, so you're not using the standard database like the image classify that you used before. You actually build a new one. This is the new one. This is the new machine learning that you build yourself. Okay, and then you can actually deploy this into you know, into the Mathematica cloud or the Wolfram cloud, so other people can also use it. Okay, you just use the cloud, the function called cloud deploy. Okay, so if anyone want to try this, you can type into the Wolfram cloud that you actually have created. Another one is that you can actually group, you know, the Japanese characters, hiragana, I think that's called. I'm not a Japanese, you know, person at all. And the thing is, they can group the similar, you know, similar character together. That actually help with the student to learn, you know, that this is so close, so it's hard to actually identify, but Mathematica can do that. There are also clever image, you know, that can combine two photos, the dog and the, I think this is Picasso, right?
Yeah, the background.
I think the right one is maybe one of the Picasso. And then you can create a new image, dog Picasso, or I don't know, style. See? So who said that computer cannot do artwork? Okay, that seems to be doubtful now, right? That actually you can see that, oh, this might be somebody painting, right? Not the computer painting, but actually combine the two, and it can actually extract the style of the image and then apply to the new one. Okay. You can also do the because it's integrated with other Wolfram, you know, Mathematica functionality, then you can use it. Like for this one, you can give, you know, them the image that actually Windows, I think Windows XP, I don't know, right? Desktop background. Okay, and you want to see that in any location in the world that has photos similar to this one. And yeah, it can do it. It can give you the location that if you go there, you will see green field with blue sky and some, you know, in cumulus cloud, you know, like the one in the picture. In this case, you give it a top probability of 50. Okay, so you can actually specify some parameter in your machine learning code. Okay, just have to go and read more on the how to use this kind of thing. Okay. Okay, and then this is another example. Okay, another one that it can actually group the flag of the world into similar color and shape, you see, and it seems to doing very well. So, and it also can give you a dendrogram of a picture of the flower, like this one. Okay. There are many more examples of you can do with Mathematica. It has, you know, like the data science tool for people with, you know, want to do data science. They can use this tool to do, you know, what they have to do in the analyzing, you know, organizing the data that you want to do. Okay, some of it might be a little bit like advertisement. Okay, so you can try yourself and see if it's actually real or it's actually, you know, only advertising. But from my experience, I actually use this one for my research. So, okay. Where is my classroom? Oh dear. Okay, must be this one. And then I have to go back. Okay. Okay. That finished the second part. And now we're going to the final part of Mathematica, which is the introduction to machine learning in Mathematica. Let me check the link here. Okay, this is actually from a book called An Elementary Introduction to Wolfram Language. Okay, and the second edition is actually done by Stephen Wolfram, who actually created the software, the Mathematica. And this section actually come from, the chapter 22 on machine learning. Okay, if you want to do it at home on yourself, you can start from 1, and then make it up to 22. But you can actually skip and start, with this 22 now. Okay. Another example that Mathematica can do is to actually identify the language. Okay, so if you use this tutorial, you can actually copy. Okay, click, and then it's copy, and then you can go to your Wolfram Cloud session. Where is it on my computer? This one. Okay, and then you can edit and paste. Hopefully it comes. No. Okay, let me do it again. No. Okay, let me see. It's here. Okay, you actually copy, but there's power is restored. Very good. Maybe I have to renew my session here. Okay, now it's working. Right. So I just copy it and then I just hit enter. Okay, and that's how you can actually work on learning how to use some of these feature in, in the book. Let's see this one. Is it working? I have the cheetah. No. Okay, it's not yet copied. Let me copy it again. Okay. Make sure that it's copied to the clipboard. Okay. With all these funny characters means copy. Okay, now the cheetah is coming. Okay, we actually have tried this one, so I don't have to do to tell you to do it again, but you can try on yourself on your computer. If you have any problem, just tell us in the chat box. Okay, the next example would be this one. This is like OCR, optical character recognition. It used to be a very, very hard thing to do, but not anymore. Okay, not anymore. So the structure of the code is actually, okay, let me break it out for you. So this is the first square bracket, okay, and then this is the last bracket. This part is actually a list of, you know, the thing that you want to train. I can say that is training. Okay, this is the training set, which consists of image and the number. This is the image of 1 and this is 1. See, that's the image of 0. So if the more example of the 0 you have, the more example of the 1 you have, you know, the better of the classification or the machine that to be able to predict. Okay, so with the classify, you actually just put down the training set, okay, so that it can learn, and then you give the image to it for it to actually classify as a 0 or 1. Okay, and it seems to be very, very good at predicting the new, you know, the new 0. Okay, so you can actually start thinking about the STEM project that your student, that yourself can do with all this. Okay, so you can have maybe a camera, that's engineering. You have camera, and then you connect it to, you have to define your system, right? Connect it to the maybe Raspberry Pi, and from that image you can send the data into, you know, Wolfram Cloud, and then you can give the result, you know, what is that number that people are trying to write. Okay. Okay, another one that I would like to mention is in the AI era, there are technology called fuzzy logic. Okay, fuzzy logic means it's not actually logic. Logic is 0 or 1, right? For fuzzy, some data may not be 0 or 1, you know, completely. They may be like 0, 50%, 1, 50%. Okay, that we call fuzzy logic. And in Mathematica, it's already built in, and it's called nearest. Okay, so when you have data like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and you have number 22, but Mathematica can determine the nearest to that 22. You know, this is actually a next step in computer programming, because in computer the rule has to be exact. Okay, the rule cannot be like approximate. It cannot be like, okay, this is right, this is not right, this is 50% right, this, you know, and the computer cannot work on like that. But right now it's already implemented in the new, you know, in Wolfram language. It's called the nearest. Okay, so if you want more, you know, all the other nearest, not just 20, you can actually supply another option to the nearest function. You can put down the number 3, okay, and then it gives you the nearest 3 with the most maximum probability of the first one, and then the later is second one, and then the third one. So you can actually determine that 22 is different from 20, only 2, right? But then from 30 is 8, okay, and from 10 is actually 12. So the most likely one would be 20. But why you need 3 numbers? Because in some application, the first one might not be the right correct answer. Okay, so you might want to determine the second one, the third one as well. And Mathematica had option for that. Okay, it's not just a working for the number. Number is easy. You can find the distance very quickly, but it also works for color. Say, for example, you have color like red and different shade of red and different shade of orange, green, blue, or violet. Okay, it can work on that as well. The nearest color. Okay, so you can see now that if you have image, you can also use it to find the nearest picture of the one that you have. Okay, and that's what Google is trying to do now with the Google search. Okay, which is called image search. Okay, it also work with words. Okay, so we can find nearest word for the word good. Okay, and the result is like good and food and goat and God and gold and food, something like that. It's really very fun to do project with this, I think. Okay, it also has a function to blur stuff. Okay, this is like image processing built in Mathematica. So if you have the word hello, okay, normally it's just I can copy it. Okay, copy it, and then I can go to this one. Okay, and if I remove blur and the number 3, then you see I have the very strong, very clear image of hello. Okay, and if I do that with the word 30, I will get a blur hello. Okay, this is too much. Okay, that's too much. We can reduce the number down to 3. Okay, and now it's much better blur. And then of course you can try using Mathematica to determine the one that is not blur, the blur one. See, and recognizes it become hello again. See, so if you have a blurry image, maybe from your mobile phone, or maybe you're taking some driver license of the car moving, the image might blur. Okay, then you can capture that part and put it to text recognize, and it give you the number. Okay, so this is another way of using machine learning in Mathematica. Okay, and we can actually increase the level of blur using this one to produce the series of hello, with different blur level, and then try to use text recognize to actually, to know what they actually say. It's easy to get the correct to the first 2, but then for the third one is hella. Okay, of course, you cannot expect the machine learning to do everything right. Okay, and you have to determine that, and yeah, and the 4th and the 5th one, it just skip nothing. Okay, that means it cannot determine, and it's actually very, very hard to see any, these 2 already, unless if you know the first one. Okay, this is still hello, but if you don't know it's actually come from hello, this is also very difficult to, it may not be as good as human, but it's okay. Like what I said before, you can try to blur the cheetah image too and see that what it gives to identify the blur image. For the first 4, it seems to be okay. It gives the right answer, cheetah, but then it's kind of way off to lion, red wolf, domestic dog, or a finally person, because it had eyes. Okay, and actually that look like person, to me anyway. Okay. Right. So there's an option for image identify for you guys to play around. Okay. And really trying to use it, the machine learning function in your work. Okay, this is to create we call dendrogram of colors. Okay, see the data that is closest to each other, and then form a tree, a decision tree, for example, that you can use. Imagine this can be your data, can be John data, can be Celine data, can be like Ram data, and try to see who actually, closest, in some space, in some determined number, like maybe age, maybe how handsome, how beautiful, something like that. You can play around with this. Okay. And you have another function called feature space plot. It seems to distinguish, the group of the color very clearly. Okay. In this case, because it's very distinctive color. But if you have a good random color, okay, it will be a little bit blurry for the boundary. Let me try this one, because I think it's very interesting to see. And for 100 example, it seems to be okay, not so bad, not so slow. Okay, and if you have like 1,000 color, let's see. It will definitely take a longer time. Okay, and it depends on the credit that you have on Wolfram Cloud to do your computation. Okay, anyone has any question or any comment so far? Let me see, where is it? Oh, okay, this is the image for 1,000 color. I think it's still working, right? It stopped drawing. Okay, look like it stopped drawing. Let me try on a machine here, local machine. Oh, my local machine is not working because internet is down. Let's do that again. Okay, that's bad. Okay. Okay, to summarize, okay, for this part, these are the example of the machine learning function that Mathematica has. Okay. For the language identify, we have tried it. Image identify, okay, text recognize is the OCR that I told you. And for the classify, you have to have training set of data. Okay, and to do that, so basically what you have to do for yourself is to create the training data set like this one. And I'm gonna break it down so that you can see what is actually is. See, that's image, and then that's the number. And then you group it together with the curly brace. Okay, and break it down into it's called actually the rule or association list. Okay, and the list actually start with the open and then finish with the close bracelet like this one. Okay, so if you have another set of data, for example, if you have like another kind of data, you can start off using this. Okay, and then you can type in, if you have image, then you type minus and then more than, it will create an arrow. Okay, and then you can call that image maybe like good. Okay, and then you have another image 2, image 1. You do the same thing. Of course, you can do this, you know, like programmingly or codely, and okay, if you have a very big data. Okay, and then you can keep, you know, building this kind of, this will call the training set. Or if you have a student data that you want to like learn, then if you have like the student data, the student score, maybe for the first score, maybe 40, and then you have the second one, 20, and then you want this data to be A, you can do so. This is how you actually use machine learning in your grading. Then that B, for example, and then you have all that, and then you have another new score coming in. It can determine that this score can be A, B, or C, or D. Okay, and it will be different from the way that you actually grade the student now, because now you use the total score, right? So if somebody doing the bad or good in each section, then when you average them, you add them together, you know, you actually average out. So you cannot have like, this is A for drawing, and this is A for maybe writing. Then you can have many more scenario or categories for your student grade than just A, B, C, D. Okay, because that's just one dimension of the student evaluation. Okay. Actually, I have another example. Let me see if I can open this on this computer, because of power shortage, power breakout, I cannot access another computer anymore. Let me see if I can still access it. Okay, seem to be okay. Oh dear, okay, the machine is off. Okay, so what I want to, okay, this is the summary of the thing that appear in this machine learning example. If you click next, I think it's go to 23. Okay. You have another link here for more example, which is right here. Okay, so this is the documentation of Mathematica. So there will be more example and more comprehensive function. Actually, is this all the machine learning function in Mathematica? And you can see that there are a lot, you know, and they something that you can actually spend your time exploring all of this, so that you can make use of what you want to use it. Okay, for example, I would like to try this one. sequence predicts. Okay. And to use this, you have to stop sharing my screen. And I start my mathematical session, new one. Then I have to share the screen again, but now with local Mathematica. Okay. So I just type in sequence predict. And actually this is a very fun game. Okay, this is like paper, scissors, stone, right? I
And
don't know how you
stone.
call it.
Yeah, paper, scissors, and stone. Paper, scissors, stone.
Yes, you see it's training now. And then you can use this to predict the next, the next the next posture, how do you call it, posture, to come out the next one from stone, scissor, and then become stone. From this training set. I'm using the I'm using the Mathematica local now because I don't think sequence predicts is in the Wolfram Cloud. Can somebody check for me?
Yes, let me check it.
So you need a local Mathematica kernel to do it. But if you don't, you can always use this kind of, this kind of machine learning symbol that you can like training equal to. So if you have this, then if you give this, if you have this, you give, you see what I mean?
Yes, Ajahn, it's like the prediction of the result, isn't it?
Something
Like
like
the gesture, the movement result.
Yep. See, it's like that.
Mm.
And then you can use classify to do classification. Okay, and this, okay, this one. Okay, right. And of course, if you have more example, then the better prediction it will be, right? For a person. Of course, somebody are thinking about using this with the lottery.
There would be series of numbers.
And they're using the probabilities of the result.
And if you win, you can share some money with me. But if you lose, okay, keep quiet, okay?
Good attempt, maybe.
Right. Okay, let me ask, how much time do we have for the closing?
We have around 19 minutes to join.
19 minutes.
Actually,
No, actually the question was, how much time do we need for the closing? 5 minutes.
For the closing, it's supposed to be around not that long, and maybe we can have a question and answers later.
Miss Man, what do we have for the closing? I mean, the schedule for the closing.
Okay, by the way, while waiting for that answer, you can actually specify, to see the probability of the coming outcome. Okay. If you add this option to the end, okay, so the chance to have the paper is 0.37. For the stone would be like 0.422, and for the scissor would be 0.2075. See? Okay, so this is the another thing that we can try with the sequence predict. Okay, and we can also have it to predict the next two probable, the most probable sequence, you know, like that will become the paper and then the stone. Okay, so there are options for each of the machine learning function in Mathematica that you can try and give you, you know, the good result. Okay, because but be remind that the more training data, okay, the good training data would give you the good machine learning function. Okay, if you have to clean, that's the important thing. You have to clean your data, and you have to also try to get the most, you know, the maximum number of data that you can have. The bigger the data you have, you know, the bigger, the better the machine learning function that you can have to predict the, you know, the next thing, next outcome, or to classify everything. Okay, and Mathematica have provided tool for you to test, you know, and use it. For another example, I will give you that. Let me stop sharing this screen and sharing this one instead. You can actually use classifier measurement to see that your prediction machine learning is good or bad. And it gives you something like this confusion matrix. Okay, and this is really easy to understand. This is the predicted class, and this is the actual class. So for A, you know, and the actual is A, but the machine also predict A. That's good, right? That means it's correct. Okay, so the most diagonal element, the better the, you know, the prediction. Okay, or the better classification. So for the off diagonal means bad. Okay, so in this case, it seems to be very good, but it's bad for A, because sometimes, no, sorry, it's bad for B because sometimes it predicts A. Okay, so it's actually B, but it predicted A, right? So this is have one from four tests. Okay, so normally when you have training data, you have to divide that into two groups. Maybe the majority for training, and then maybe 10% for, you know, testing. And Mathematica have this thing to help you, you know, classify, test your classification. Okay, and it so give you like number to make it, what is the accuracy of your, you know, of your machine learning function, and many other things. Okay, this is another example. And lastly, I would actually have to tell you about the GPU. Okay, Mathematica has the function to use the GPU to do your machine learning. Let me go back to classify again. And then there's option that you have to look at. Okay, and let me try to find the one. Yeah, target device. Okay, normally it will be a CPU. If you have the, you know, machine with a lot of GPU, then you can just provide this option, and then all your, machine learning will be done on the GPU. Okay, so it has the function that to use on the GPU machine. Okay. Another one is that it can do parallelize. You can do parallel computing with Mathematica as well, and it's very intuitive and really simple to use. You just type in this parallelize, your load your function to compute, and then it will split and then connect to your, your individual machine and do parallelization for you. Okay, I guess I can stop here for now because we don't have much time anymore, right?
It's already 11:48.
So it should be a time for question and
Answers.
answer.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much, Chris, for that very comprehensive teaching on Mathematica and with the machine learning and artificial intelligence. I am pretty sure that everyone here in this conference able to get a lot of information, how to use machine learning and how to use Mathematica for your machine learning and artificial intelligence. Probably in the future, we would be able to see these people, the participants, creating their own invention and publishing it to the world. And it would be awesome building a world with, technology, with a better technology in the future. So for that, I would like also to emphasize that if ever you do have a lot of confusions, you can ask, you can visit or revisit our Google Classroom. It will be open every time. And you can access that all the time, and all those things that were actually had been discussed to you. There are a lot of examples there, so you can just get into it and try playing with your Mathematica in Wolfram Cloud, or if you do have a software of your own, then it would be better. You can play around and do a little of your experiments, and from there you would know how to use Mathematica for your endeavor. Now, also, I posted there a link on the chat room wherein you have to open that link for you to be able to get an e-certificate. Now, that e-certificate will be sent to you once you are finished filling out the form, and you click on submit, and whatever email you put into that e-certificate of yours, it will be sent to that email. And don't forget also to please put a title of your name, say Mr., Miss, Mrs., whatever you want to be called before your name, so that your e-certificate also will have that title. So those are the things that you need to do, and you can do it now so that before you left the session, you have already your e-certificate. And make sure that you will put in the right email so that you would get your e-certificate. All right, so I think if you still have questions, you can still type into our classroom here or to our chat room. And from now, I would like to turn over the mic to our beautiful MC, Miss Anita Wan from KEL, Miss Nan.
Thank you, Jones. And thank you, Dr. Krishna Dave, for the lecture of the basic AI and machine learning. And thank you for the team to support this workshop. So may I invite Assistant Professor Dr. Panarin to say something before we end this session? Thank you.
Thank you, Nan. Before we close, I think I may ask Dr. Krishna Dave a question. Like myself, I have a very minimal knowledge on AI and machine learning. And if we are interested in learning more, what is the right field of study that we should continue?
What is the right one?
The right field of study to pick in order to be skillful in this area. The right field of study, do we need to
You mean the
apply
dis-
for,
You mean the discipline?
yeah.
As I mentioned earlier, that machine learning is actually interdisciplinary. And so you can actually apply, this is like technology and it's true. So you can actually apply in any field that you actually already expert in. For example, if you're doing linguistics, okay, you can think about getting a lot of data to create your own big data, like for example, maybe the word used in novel, in different kind of novel, and then you can actually build a machine learning to predict, if somebody else write a novel, and would that be a good sale or would that be popular, something like that. So machine learning is like tool and technology for any field.
Okay.
And the tool that I introduced to you today is very, as you can see, you use only one function or maybe a very minimal coding that you have to do. So it's not, if you choose to use the machine learning platform for the Google, you have to have a very steep learning curve. Okay, so you have to get somebody to do that for you. But for Mathematica, you can actually understand it yourself because it's very, it's like a black box. So black box is maybe sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. It's bad when you don't understand what is going on, but you don't have to understand because, you actually have to understand the higher level, not the ground level. And of course, we have these Google Classrooms. So if you have any question, you can come back to Google Classroom and check on that. And I think we can create a Facebook Messenger group so that people can join and keep this rolling, not stop here today.
Yeah. Okay.
We could do that.
Idea.
The Facebook Messenger group.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much, Associate Professor Dr. Krishnadej Charoensuthasinee and all the lovely team of scholars for organizing this first webinar on basic AI and machine learning for STEM. And thank you, honorable participants, I think from Philippines, Malaysia, Indonesia, Bangladesh, Vietnam, and Thailand. And do I miss any countries? If I do, please raise your voice. No? So I hope that during today's short webinar, you have touched the base or the foundation of artificial intelligence and machine learning, which we all agree, I suppose, that it is useful to our everyday life now and can be more important in the future, especially during these waves of harsh-stricken COVID-19. Let me praise Herbert Spencer, the originator of the expression survival of the fittest in the Darwinism theory. This person believes that the great aim of education is not knowledge, but action. So I do hope that today's shared knowledge by our great scholar from Wat Lelak University, Associate Professor Dr. Krishnadej Charoensuthasinee, will fire up your desire to develop intelligent technology and learn more grateful ways to make use of it in order to bring great joy to our lives and to humankind altogether. Have a pleasant day or night at whatever corner of the globe you are at now, and stay safe. And please contact the Center of International Affairs at our website or our Facebook that my lovely assistant Nan has shared with you in the chat box. If you are interested in learning more about AI and machine learning or other interesting graduate programs with tuition fee scholarship. Thank you very much and hope to see you with our next webinar to come soon on March 23rd on soilless melon. Thank you, Nan.
Thank you, Assistant Professor Dr. Patnarin. And now we're coming to the closings. Thank you everyone for joining the